Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be Airfix Model World flick through, issue 169. Yeah, 169, issue 169, and we get the 2025 artwork calendar with this one. So come and join me on the desk and we'll have a look. Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video. Right, so we are going to be having a flick through for Airfix Model World issue 169, and we also get the 2025 calendar with this issue. They're being a bit tight. This is smaller than the usual offering. So, yeah, okay. But we'll have a flick through that in a mo. Right, let's have a look. We've got some great, what I think are F86 Sabres on the front there. Monaco Victor, 112 scale Lotus, 99T from B-Max. And Armoured Revolution, Little Willie, 135 scale. So, there's our Sabre. Let's have a look at some of the contents, shall we? So, we have, that looks like an F15, 38. Japan's Graceful Eagle, yep. 172 scale F15 Eagle from Fine Molds. 94 intermediate build on fabric wings. A 132 scale Tiger Moth. Obviously we've got our Lotus. 18 conversion build, 1 in a pillion. Dean Large's 132 scale 2-seat P51 Mustang conversion, based on Tamir's 132 scale kit, is dedicated to his father, who sadly passed away recently. And then 28, we got a bust. Wolfpack leader, Mitch's military models. Recent 1/9 scale resin bust of Colonel Robin Olds was a source of inspiration for Dave Oliver. Cool. A6 Sky Raiders. So, AD6 A1H Super Wing Series 132 scale. So these are Zukai Miura Sky Raider. Is that a single Sky Raider in the box? Looks like it. I can't see whether, because some of these manufacturers are offering like double kits. But the Sky Raider was the forerunner to the A10 Warthog. Right, bumper batch of Airfix releases. So, de Havilland Chipmunk T10, T20, Supermarine Walrus Mark 1, and that looks like the Anson there. Hawker Typhoon in 172 scale, de Havilland Tiger Moth in 172 scale, and Handley Page Hampton Vintage Classic there. Blah, 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 blah. Right, if you thought a surprise announcement of the Airfix 148 scale F86 F Sabre wasn't enough, well, it has been joined by a refreshed boxing of the Avro Anson, which I think is that one, I believe. Having pleased legions of modelers with its initial new tool, the Avro Anson 2 years ago, Airfix now produced a second version featuring decals for 3 Mark 1 airframes. Staying with recent toolings, we've got the firm's 148 scale Chipmunk T10 and T20. Refreshed via a new decal sheet, offering 3 attractive liveries for Irish and Portuguese airframes. Plus an example of the Queen's Flight, also known as the then HRH Prince of Charles, in 1968. Parts are unchanged, so there's an 8-part with bearers, de Havilland Gypsy Major engine, seat cushions with moulded belts and separate flying control surfaces. 2 pilot figures are also supplied, as is a jig with which to help construct the multi-piece cockpit glazing. Okay. Final recent quarter scale offering is the Supermarine Walrus. This is a straightforward reissue of the original boxing, offering 3 schemes for RAF, Royal Navy and Royal Australian Air Force machines. This kit has earned much praise for its detail and fit. Moving to 172 scale, Airfix is 172 scale Hawker Typhoon. Arguably the best styrene example in this scale is available again in 2 fresh colour schemes. De Havilland Tiger Moth. A new opportunity to build one of these lovely kits courtesy of a refreshed offering that features new decals. There's a choice between a camouflage United States Army Air Force liaison machine and a doped aluminium Royal Australian Navy airframe. Last but by no means least comes a vintage classics boxing of the Handley Page Hampton. Cool. And we have here New Tool Triceratops and Mosasaurus from Bandai. So cool. Brigade Models 2-seat Spitfire conversion. This is in 132 scale and it's $59.99 from hanants.co.uk. CH-54 Tahe cockpit from Screaming Toad for the 135 scale. I think it's the ICM release. When ICM released this 135's, modelers were delighted. Its arrival, some surprisingly, sparked a host of aftermarket parts, with arguably the most impressive being Screaming Toad's models recently announced 3D printed cockpit interior set. There you go. Cockpit upgrade package is priced at £68 and is available by messaging your manufacturer via Screaming Toad's Facebook page. UK-based scale model parts has specialised in 3D printed resin accessories for kits of the Panavia Tornado. Its latest offering is a 132 scale Raptor Reconnaissance Airborne Pod for Tornado. Which was fitted to the left-hand fuselage pylon on RAF Tornadoes. It's a sizable affair and would make for a superb addition to kits by either Italeri or Revell, with the main body section measuring 128mm, onto which a 54mm long tail unit is added via a cleverly designed connector ring. Cool. £22 is available from Scale Model Parts, scalemodelparts.co.uk. If you're building a Recce Tornado in other scales, the pod is also available at 172 scale and 148 scale at £8 and £16 respectively. So we have Build Army. This is 133 scale and it's kind of like it's similar to Lego bricks. Build Army's new armoured vehicle brick sets. So it looks like we've got a Panther Alf D, a Tiger 1 Alf E, an M4 Sherman and a Churchill Mark III. These are expensive. I'm not being funny, but these are expensive. So the Tiger is retailing at £84.99. The Panther is £69.99. The Sherman is £58.99. And the Churchill is £81.99. Let me just... This is the Churchill is the most difficult of the 4, being rated an 8 out of 10 and has 1,305 pieces, packaged into 12 bags. Build Army kits are available at online retailers including Jadlam, Wonderland Models, EM or E Models, Time Tunnel and Motorsport. New tool, MS406C1 from Dora Wings. Is that Italian? Oh, it's French. French Air Force aircraft in 148 scale MS406C1 fighter. $28.95 from albionhobbies.com. Avro 504 kits from Kovozavody, Prostejov. I'm sorry, I do apologise if I'm murdering this. I'm sure somebody could do an absolute screamer of a reel just with me trying to pronounce things. Czech company KP has issued new Tool 172 Avro 504 kits in 4 separate boxings, all with the same common runners but different decal sheets. Why not just increase the price a tiny bit and include the 4 decals, 4 separate decals? Don't know. Right, each kit costs €14.20 from kovozavody.cz, making them a bargain. New tool, 172 scale, ER 80 and 81C from IBG. Eastern Front subjects. Just trying to decide. Romania's only indigenous fighter of World War II. There you go. 172 scale. It's €24 from ibg.com.pl. Revised P51 book from Valiant Wings. $28.95 from valiantwings.co.uk. Okay, display case, nice. So, your builds. So these are readers' builds, and there's some nice stuff. There's a nice Sunderland there. Only recently finished, Neil Pennington built this stunning scene depicting an Airfix 172 Sunderland Mark III at a coastal base as a gift for a friend's 60th birthday. And we have a Sherman Recovery. It says motor carriage M32B1 armoured recovery vehicle, recovering an M7 Priest howitzer which has thrown a track and almost ended up in the drink. We got nice Shannon class lifeboat here. Academy's 172 TBF-1 Avenger was modified by Gregory Kelly to depict an in-flight machine with a clear plastic spinning prop added and opened bomb bay doors finished with Tamiya acrylics. The plane was fixed onto a length of thick wire rising from the wooden base support, which also acted as a framework. The water spume is cotton wool. The sea white glued tissue paper. The sea white glued tissue paper. Okay. And then this Australian modeler combines several sets of the Airfix 172 scale. Guards Colour Party band create this impressive troop in the colour scene based on the 1956 parade and repurposed Airfix's Waterloo French cavalry as horse guards, blues and royals, mounted guardsmen. Almost 1,500 figures were used, which gives you an idea of the diorama's size. Is that finished? It looks like he's just plonked it down on a bit of plywood. That's rude, but it's true. Right, a pillion plane. This looks cool. Not too sure I'd want to be sat there though. So anyway, this is North American P51D Mustang by Tamiya, and it's £108 in 132 scale from hobbyco.net, and the upgrade I don't know if this is scratch built or aftermarket part materials to convert the Tamiya kit to a reasonable facsimile of the genuine. I'm not at quick glance, I'm not seeing the details for the aftermarket kits. I've got materials at a glance, air scale, World War II Allied cockpit placard details, and United States Army Air Force instrument dial. Then we've got paints, decals, looks like glass, Edward, so interior late series seat belts and wheels, leveling thinner, Mustang propeller, Dallas canopy, and then more paint. Yeah, I actually don't know. So I don't know if this was mostly scratch built with just some small aftermarket parts included. There looks like there's a lot of styrene going in here, styrene rod being used there. This throttle control, by the look of it, plastic cuts. This looks like a almost scratch built addition to the kit. And yeah, so basically they have extended the cockpit backwards, because that's a bit misleading. That's some sort of tank, whether it's a fuel tank or something, I don't know, but it looked like it might have been a seat cushion. But there's the other seat just there behind the pilot. So I'm assuming this was the layout that was used for the Top Gun Maverick film, where at the end of the film he takes Jennifer Connelly up. But it's nice. It's a nice kit. IPMS Salisbury Model Show 2024. We have a Fairy Gannet. We have a 143 scale Land Rover. We have a Piber, a Vietnam era Piber. Ooh. Airship historian Martin Howe exhibited his extensive collection of themed memorabilia and builds, including a Mark I model's 1720 scale Zeppelin as L45. Canberra, is that? What's that? Oh, it's an Illusion. 1968 tooling of the 172 scale Illusion IL-28 Beagle. And then we have a Model Factory Hero 1/12 Auto Union Type C that Bernard Rosemeyer drove to victory in the 1936 German Grand Prix. Wolfpack leader Robin Olds is iconic in US Air Force history, with a combat career spanning both World War II and Vietnam. Dave Oliver paints Mitch's model's recent rendering of this legendary pilot. That is a nice bust. He's got his aircrew survival vest on there, along over the top of his flight suit. So Robin Olds, Mitch's Military Models. It's one Night Scout. It's £28 from mitch'smilitarymodels.co.uk. Little, just going down the side here, it's just talking about zenithal highlighting here and pre-shading. Just going down on each side, so that's would be an interesting thing to read up on. I need to get more practice in with my airbrush. It makes a hell of a noise though because it's a cheap one. Modeler or kit assembler. Right, Japan's Graceful Eagle. So Mitsubishi's license-built F-15JDJ Eagle, twin-engined, all-weather, air superior fighter based on the McDonnell Douglas, now Boeing, F-15 Eagle, and is used solely by the Japanese Air Self-Defense Forces, JASDF. So F-15J, JMSIP, 172 Scouts, £40 from Hinamaru Hobby Kits, hhkits.com. Built into really nice looking aircraft. I've seen the Airfix kit, which had its own issues. And this one's just a basic build. Seat. Nice. There's a 1/24 scale Apache here. That's going to be some fair old kit. Okay, so we have Stoke Model Show. What do we got on? This is really good, actually. This one here, North Vietnamese fighter in a need for speed. This cracking dynamic scene was built by Chris McSheffrey, who posed a wheels-up Airfix 172 scale MiG-17 F Fresco on an aftermarket base as it was speeding across the Vietnamese countryside, and that works really well. That effect works really well. This is an unusual. There were more than just styrene exhibits on display, such as this Miles M52 supersonic research design, which was scratch built by British experimental aircraft modeller Andy Luxton using aluminium. Duller sections were achieved by sanding the respective areas using various grades of micro mesh abrasive cloths. That's nice. Another Gannet. It's nice kit. Kit Form Services 1/24 scale kits aren't for the faint-hearted modeler, but the time spent on building them is always worthwhile due to their quality and refinement, as exemplified by this AEC Militant Mark 1 6x6 gun tractor, built here by Fenland and Spalding's Dale Sharman. The Monaco Victor. So which car driven to victory in the 1987 Monaco Grand Prix? It's by BMAX, Lotus 99T, 112 scale. It's £275 from hobbyco.net. But there's a lot of detail in this. Just looking at the engine build, There's a lot of detail in that. Comprehensive detail. There's a huge first decal sheet had all the livery in beautiful blue colour, which was highly striking against the yellow. B-Max's second sheet carried mainly decals for the tyres, but also many silver circles for the attachments on the monocoque. A type of fabric with a mildly sticky rear face was provided for the seat harness. That's these guys. However, adhesion had to be aided by double-sided tape. Okay. You can see these in this photograph here. I think the only race car that I'd probably be tempted to build was if I could find a Tyrrell six-wheeler, because that was something that I loved the look of. I thought that was a great race car. Wow, what have we got? Rocket Rendezvous. Real Space Modelers have a splendid project in Horizon Models 172 scale Atlas Agena, built here by Chris Clifford. So, Atlas Agena, Horizon Models, 172 scale, $41.95 from horizonmodels.com. Nice. Just trying to... You can replicate vehicles from the ATDA launch of June 1st, 1966 and the first ATV mission October 25, 1965. Is that right? Plus further ATV launches on March 16, May 17, July 18, September 12 and November 11, 1966. So yeah, cool. It's unusual to see a NASA launch vehicle in metallic, although the top part is painted white with black checkers and stuff like that. It's unusual to see a silver launch vehicle for NASA. Somebody in the comments is going to prove me wrong now. One step to Apollo. So here we go. We've got a nice in focus article on this. And there it is in orbit. The augmented target docking adapter launched for Gemini 9 Alpha had its docking cone obscured by a snared shroud. Dubbed the Angry Alligator by the Gemini 9 Alpha crew, the ATDA was effective only as a rendezvous target to which the manned spacecraft was unable to dock. Interesting. And then we're into the advanced build for the Airfix is reissued F86F Sabre in 1/48 scale. And it is £41.99 from airfix.com. Looks like they've swapped out kit parts with aftermarket resin parts. Right, before any construction began, it was a case of seeing What could improve the kit's detail and appearance? CMK's nose wheel bay was a no-brainer with crisper features and cabling. Plus, it's a drop-in replacement. Another no-brainer addition to the cockpit was the nose wheel bay. It was essentially a drop-in feature once the casting block had been removed with a razor saw. Again, I mean, as a kid, I built a few sabres because those were like a kit that seemed that my local news agents, which is like in the village I grew up in, that was where we got our model kits from. Or if we went to a neighbouring town, if we went to Petersfield, we could go into Menzies and there'd be a slightly bigger selection. Or if we went over to Hazelmere in Surrey, there was a toy shop there that had Tamiya stuff. But our local news agents mostly stocked Airfix and a small selection of Matchbox kits. Right, out and about. Oh, I do like the 1/350th aircraft carriers from Tamiya. This one is from Trumpeter. Now, if it's Trumpeter, is it a brand new tooling, or is it a shared sprue, a shared tooling with Tamiya? Somebody let me know if they've built one. Trumpeter 1/350th USS Nimitz CVN 68, including the deck being sanded and all tie-down points reinstated, plus aftermarket photo etched brass and homemade decal additions. Magnificent model was awarded best in show. There is something about an angle deck carrier and that projection of power. Oh, my cross ship here, 148 scale. VF-19 Excalibur, variable fighter with Aldingborn modeler Steve Doyle. We then got Armoured Revolution. So this is Little Willie. This is Michael Turfors builds the Tank Museum's debut kit, the 135 3D printed Little Willie, and finds it an interesting canvas for mud and dust. Okay. I honestly didn't know that the Tank Museum had gone into producing their own kits. But it is. It's by the Tank Museum, Gizmo 3D, Little Willie. It's £89.99 from thetankmuseum.org. Makes sense, really. I mean, if they can print stuff to a good quality with minimal overheads, then it makes sense as a way of helping to fund the upkeep of the museum. Fantastic. I get why they went from this type of track layout to the rhomboid type shape. You know, for getting over no man's land and trenches and trench clearance and stuff like that. But it would have been interesting to see tank development had they not gone down that route after Little Willie, and how quickly better tank designs would have come along because of that. Little Willie 1915. Cool. Next Gen Mecha. Bandai's all new Real grade, 1/144 scale, RX-78-2 Gundam mobile suit. Is a complex yet surprisingly easy build. What's not to like about a robot mech with a lightsaber? So exclusive build for these guys from Bandai, 1/144 scale. £35 from Bandai UK, shopbandai.uk. Am I right in thinking that all of these parts are colour-coded sprues? Maybe not. Probably not. I'm probably getting that wrong. Looks good though. It's very, you can tell it's Japanese manga. Looks like it might be posable as well once you've assembled it to a degree. Nice. Huge riot shield, or boarding shield, depending on what it's doing. Right, fabric on wings. Ethan Williams builds Revel's Reeboks of ICM 132 scale Tiger Moth as an example seen at his local aerodrome. I'm liking this pale grey with the yellow banding. That's a really nice colour scheme. But we have a DH82A Tiger Moth by Revel, 132 scale, £42.49 from Revel stockists. I think Matchbox did a fairy swordfish, and I'd love to have another go at it because I think it was a swordfish I bought and just like fucked it up beyond all recognition, trying to build it badly, and then put the stringers in. I wouldn't mind having another go now that my modelling experience has, I won't say improved, but it certainly moved forward, hopefully. Celebrity. Right. They also serve RAF reconnaissance and support projects since 1945. $34.95 book from creasy.co.uk. Gloucester Javelin, 1951 to 1975. Aircraft History, Volume 5. Just Gloucester Javelin. Just says by Mark Smith at aircraftmodels.com. F-22 Raptor, Lockheed Martin Stealth Fighter at schifferbooks.com, $19.99. The Javelin is £19.99. Axis Wings Volume 2, £40 from chandospublications.co.uk. World War II Vehicles Through the Lens, 4, €28.95 from picobooks.com. And Armoured Warfare and Fall of France 1940, £14.99 from penandsword.co.uk. Right, aircraft, here we go. We have a Vultee Vengeance Mark 1 Mark 1A. It's Dora Wings, 172 scale, £29.95 from albumhobbies.com. We have an Alute 3 helicopter, 132 scale, £32.49 from Revel stockists. We have a TU-22M2 Backfire B, 172 scale, £59.99 from hobbyco.net. We also have a P-51B Mustang, 172 scale from Armour. €33.64 from armorhobby.com. We have the Lippisch LIP-13 Schnellbomber Luftwaffe subject. Planet models 172 scale, €62.30 from specialhobby.eu. And then we have the Mirage F1CR from Special Hobby, 172 scale, €19.20, specialhobby.eu. We then have a Mirage 3E from Italeri, 148 scale, £34.99, hobbyco.net. Right. So, P series. Replicating a German paper project, a long-range high-speed bomber capable of reaching the Soviet Union and the USA. It's the first in Revell's new P series, so expect to see another Luftwaffe project subjects being reissued in the future. So this is a P series Arado ARE 555 from Revell, 172 scouts, £22.99 from Revell stockists. And then from Armour Hobby we have a P39N Air Cobra, 148 scale, €38.18, armorhobby.com. Into our vehicles. Okay, right, we have straight off the bat Airfix Cromwell Mark 4 and Mark 6. 135 scale, £39.99 from airfix.com. We have an ATZ5 43203 ICM 172 scale, £11.80 from hanance.co.uk. It's nice to see a lot of other stuff coming through in 172 scale. I can remember I wanted to build a collection of various armoured vehicles from armed forces around the world when I was much younger, and the offerings were rubbish at the time. LRDG F30 wireless truck, CMP in LRDG service. So Thunder models, it's 135 scale, £39.95 from albionhobbies.com. We have an L701 German 3-ton cargo truck, Mini Art 135 scale, £52.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. A Bofors 37mm anti-tank gun. Just seeing if it comes with a crew. The only mention of crew figures is it can be employed in dioramas with a vehicle or even on its own, with or without crew figures not supplied. Oh, crew figures not supplied. That's a shame. Hate it when that happens. Anyway, Thunder models, 135 scale, £21.95 from albionhobbies.com. And then we have the 135 scale WOT 8BM 1316 Katyusha cargo. So this is the, you can either, I'm assuming it's only going to be one model. Yeah, it looks like it's just a single model rather than it shows two on the thing, but those are the options. So you can either have it as a cargo bed or the multiple launch rocket system that the Russians employed. We then have border models, 135 scale, SDKFZ 251 Alf D. So that's £53.95 from albionhobbies.com. We have Type G4 with MG434 and German staff personnel. ICM, that's 124 scale, £39.80 from hanance.co.uk. And another 135 scale offering an Italian autocannon 3-row with 9053 gun with crew. I prefer it when they come with crew. €67 from ibg.com.pl. Figures. Okay, so 176 Guards Colour Party from Airfix. They're probably showing their age by now. German Tank Riders, Ardennes 1944, 135 scale, mini art, £13.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. We have US Tank Chassis Repair Crew, 135 scale, £13.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. Dardanelles Campaign 1915 ICM 135 scale, £19.80 from Hanantz. Musician Family Refugees Mini Art 135 scale, £13.99 creativemodels.co.uk. And Chandler's Family Refugees, again £13.99 Mini Art 135 scale, creativemodels.co.uk. Civilian vehicles, we have a 125 scale 1966 Oldsmobile 442 W30 from AMT. It's £39.99 from Bachmann.co.uk. We have a D8511 mod 1936 German industrial tractor from Mini Art 124 scale, £52.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. And then in 124 scale we have a VW T1 panel van Golf. So that's the oil company, isn't it? Oh, pseudo Golf racing scheme to match that of the endurance cars. The kit comprises 11 styrene runners. I'm sure Golf was oils and lubricants. Somebody let me know. Anyway, 124 scale Revel, £38.99 from Revel Stockists. Some decals. So we have Spitfires over Malta, Euro decals, 132 scale. We have Flight Typhoon FGR4, Mark 1 decals, 172 scale. We have Cool Camo T-Birds, Iliad decals, 148 scale. Douglas TBD 1 Devastator, Part 1, Battle of Midway, June 1942. Ask Distribution, or ASK Distribution, 132 scale, €11.60. Viking, I'm assuming that's going to be Viking, PZKPFW4, Alf Eds, so Panzerkampfwagen 4 Alf F2G in Caucasus 1942-43, Star decals, that's 172 scale. And then we have Supermarine Spitfire Mark 5B, Euro decals, 172 scale, £10.95 from fantasyprintshop.com. And then we have some aftermarket parts here. Static discharges for modern Sukhoi jets. Master model 132 scale. They look like tiny bombs, to be quite honest. IJN Type 96 25mm anti-aircraft gun single. This is by Edward. It's 1/350th scale, so that looks like possibly cast white metal. Okay, 3D printed one-piece pedestals and cannons with combined photo etched brass bases, gun shields and ring type sights. So it looks like resin and photo etched brass. We also have here a Luftwaffe starter cart and transport crate for engine UMO 213 IBG models 172 scale. That would be an interesting thing. Wehrmacht bicycle special hobby 172 scale, so they look really nice. Hurricane Mark 1 exhaust fishtail type, Ask Distribution 172 scale. We then have P39Q Air Cobra engine in 172 scale. This looks like it's a 3D printed part. Conventionally, right, okay, conventionally cast resin, and the detail is as you'd expect with fine rivets, fasteners. Cool. BF109CD, Yahoo models, 148 scale. They looks like instrument panel. Preformed and painted instrument panel is designed to fit AMG BE109CD kits and intended as a drop-in addition. Looks really well done as well. And then we're into the final few pages of adverts. Right, and then the show guide. So I'll get the photos done for that and add them in. Right, so ordinarily previous calendars have been the same size as the magazine, and the Airfix Club calendar is the same size as the magazine, but your bog standard calendar has been reduced in size. But we have a Bristol Belvedere here. What's that? Malayan Emergency, maybe? It's supposed to be depicting. So January, February, we have the Shannon class lifeboat. Bristol Bulldog. The Messerschmitt BF410. I do believe this is going to be the topic of the Airfix Club kit, in the club kit package. I don't know if we're getting two, probably, hopefully two. I may actually be inspired to build one of these. Haven't really been that inspired to build any of the others yet. They're just kind of sitting there looking at me a bit forlorn. But I like this. The Avro Vulcan. Check out that bird. And again, is this, it says here Avro Vulcan B2 Black Buck. So is this depicting the raid on Stanley? So we have a Messerschmitt BF109 and a P51 Mustang. Couple of Spits. Spitfire Mark 8. The Guards Colour Party. So a friend of mine was a cold streamer, and he said he absolutely hated Trooping the Colour. It's like, especially if like one of the other regiments was trooping their colour, like he felt that they deliberately took their time passing it around, showing it around. Right, that is HMS Iron Duke. The Chinook, so that's going to be Bravo November. Boeing Chinook HC1. The Cromwell, Mark 4 or Mark 6 version. Liberator, B24H Liberator. I really want somebody to come out with a privateer, because the Matchbox one, whilst I think is it the only example in 172 scale? I haven't really seen anything else. But yeah, there you go, and then you get a summary of all the pictures in the back. Right, anyway, there you go. Yeah, Liberator. I'd love to see a 172 scale Liberator done by Airfix, or just an improved version done, you know, or somebody come up with some better aftermarket parts for the Matchbox kit, because the Matchbox kit has some issues. But I'd love to see it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully you will join me in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.